In this video I'm going to show you how to render stencil layers and object IDs. Virtual Photography Kit is made to be as easy as possible to use without any complex configuration, but it doesn't mean you can't use it for more advanced workflows like this. So let's say that we want to render the background and the bottles and the cloth separately. So we want to bring up the layers window. You find it here, and I've docked it here. So it starts with no layers, and if we select the backdrop layer and then add selected actors to new layer, let's call it backdrop. Then we add the bottles, do the same thing, and the cloth. So now we have each of these in separate layers, so we can toggle them on and off. So now what we want to do is to go to the render widget. Let's reset settings before we start. And we want to choose EXR for the image format. And then we go to export to movie render queue. So here we can add the additional settings that we need. So you go into the deferred rendering, and then you choose Stencil Layers and plus 3 times because we have 3 layers: the backdrop, the bottles, and the cloth, like that. So just press accept, and now you can either choose to press render local here, or if we save this preset as a new preset, let's call it still image bottle stencil, like that. Then we can choose it in here, and this way we can still keep using the render widget. So press render. So now that the render is done, let's choose open folder, go to the LS tutorial sequence, and then we have the EXR here at the bottom. So if you just go into Nuke or any other compositing program, you can drag and drop it in here. And we add 3 shuffle nodes. So the first shuffle node here, I set it to the final image backdrop. And the second one to the bottles, and the third one to the cloth. And then we have a merge node, which we want to set to plus. It will default to over, but set it to plus. And if we now look through the merge node, you can see that we have all of the layers composited together. And if you look at the nodes, the shuffle nodes one by one, you can see that you have them in their own layers. And if we would want to adjust maybe the bottles, we could add a color correct node and then adjust them separately, like this. So that's how you use stencil layers. Let's say you want to do object IDs instead. So first of all, we have to enable the additional render passes plugin. So check that and then restart. So now we still want to have EXR selected here in the render settings. And then we do export to movie render queue again. Open movie render queue. So we want to add one thing here, and that's object IDs. And you can choose between these settings, but we'll choose full for now. So we'll save it as a preset this time as well. And then we choose that preset here, bottle IDs. And then render. So now I'm going to Nuke again, and then drag and drop your rendered file. Then we want to add Cryptomat. And if we take a look at that, you see all of the different materials and actors have gotten their own ID colors. You can see the preview here with this checkbox, And if you now want to choose which bottles to, for example, color correct, you can hold Control and then just click the ones you want to select. So let's choose these. You see them in the matte list here as well. And then we'll add a color correct. And we'll add the crypto matte as a mask to that. So now if we look through the color correct node, and then just try to change this a bit, and you can see only that bottle is affected, just as we want it. And that's how you do object IDs.